Chosen, God just confirmed what you felt about that person. Chosen one, listen carefully. If you clicked on this video, this is not random. You didn't stumble here by accident. Heaven guided you here. There has been a stirring in your spirit lately, a quiet knowing, a feeling you couldn't explain, a sense that something about that person was different. You tried to ignore it. You questioned yourself. You wondered if you were overthinking, but the feeling never left. God says, I saw you wrestling with this in silence. You didn't talk about it much. You carried it alone. Late nights, deep thoughts, moments where your heart felt heavy without a clear reason. And now God says, enough confusion. I am confirming it. Yes, what you felt was real. No, you were not imagining it. And no, you're not crazy for sensing what others couldn't see. This message is not for everyone. It is for the chosen, for the ones with spiritual sensitivity, for the ones who feel deeply, for the ones who discern energy, intentions, and hidden motives. God says, I allowed you to feel what others overlooked. That person entered your life for a reason, but not the reason you think. Before we go further, hear this clearly. God is not revealing this to make you emotional. God is revealing this to make you free. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will explain why your spirit reacted before your mind understood, why you felt it before you saw it. God says, I speak to my chosen through discernment, not noise. You felt something about that person before anything was proven, before the words were spoken, before the truth was exposed, before the mask slipped. That's because your spirit recognized what your eyes couldn't yet confirm. Some people are gifted with intelligence, some with talent, but the chosen are gifted with spiritual perception. You sensed something was off. Something was too intense. Something was draining, or something was pulling at you unnaturally, and you couldn't explain why. God says, I allowed your spirit to feel it, because danger doesn't always announce itself. That person smiled, but your peace disappeared. They spoke kindly, but your energy dropped. They said the right things, but your heart felt uneasy. That was not fear. That was discernment. Chosen ones often attract people who want access to their light, want comfort without commitment, want benefits without responsibility. And God says, I warned you early because I love you deeply. You were never meant to stay confused. You were meant to notice, pause, and seek me. That feeling was not meant to bind you. It was meant to protect you. The confirmation you've been asking God for. You prayed silently, not loudly, not dramatically, but sincerely. God, why do I feel this way about them?
God, show me the truth.
God, am I wrong? And today God answers, no, you were not wrong. That person was sent to reveal, not to remain. They were a lesson, not a destination. A mirror, not a partner in destiny. God says, I allowed them close enough to show you what you still needed to heal. That's why the connection felt intense. That's why it felt spiritual. That's why it felt confusing. Some connections feel divine because they activate growth, not because they are meant to stay. God says, if I didn't stop it early, it would have cost you later. And now this is the confirmation. The distance you feel now is divine protection. The silence is divine redirection. The clarity coming is divine release. You are not losing them. You are outgrowing what they represented. God says, chosen one, trust what I revealed. Do not return to what I removed. Why God had to separate you from them? Chosen one, hear this clearly. God says, I separated you because staying would have broken what I was building. You wondered why things suddenly changed, why conversations felt forced, why the connection weakened, why access was removed without explanation. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. That person could walk with you emotionally, but not spiritually. They could enjoy your light, but not protect it. God says, everyone who feels familiar is not assigned to your future. Some people are only meant to meet you at a certain level of your growth, but when you begin to rise, their presence becomes a weight instead of support. That's why your spirit started resisting them. That's why peace disappeared when you tried to stay. That's why God made it uncomfortable. Chosen ones cannot be kept in places where their destiny is threatened. God says, if I allowed them to stay, you would have shrunk to keep them. And God did not choose you to live small. The hidden intention, God revealed. This is the part many people miss. God says, not everyone who feels drawn to you loves you. Some are drawn to what you carry, your strength, your empathy, your wisdom, your calm spirit, your depth. That person benefited from your presence more than you benefited from theirs. They felt safe around you, healed around you, energized by you. But God says they were drinking from your well without ever pouring back. Chosen ones often attract emotionally wounded people who are not ready to heal, only to consume. That's why you felt drained. That's why you overgave. That's why you were always the one understanding, forgiving, adjusting. God revealed this not to harden your heart, but to guard it. God says, you are not called to rescue people who refuse transformation. Their intentions were not always evil, but they were misaligned. And misalignment is dangerous when destiny is involved. What God is preparing you for now. Now listen carefully, because this is the shift. God says, I removed them because I am upgrading you. You are entering a season where your peace matters, your boundaries matter, your discernment matters, your obedience matters. God is preparing connections that match your growth, not test your patience. People who don't confuse you, don't drain you, don't compete with you, don't make you doubt your worth. But first, God needed you unattached, clear, focused, available. God says, I cannot send what you prayed for while you're still emotionally tied to what I removed. This is not punishment. This is positioning. Chosen one. What's coming will not feel confusing. It will feel safe. It will feel balanced. It will feel God-led. Trust the separation. Trust the silence. Trust the confirmation. Why God let you get attached before removing them. Chosen one. This part may shake you, but it will heal you. You ask God quietly, why did you let me feel so deeply? Why did you allow the bond to form? Why didn't you warn me sooner? And God says, because attachment reveals truth faster than observation. If God had removed them early, you would have romanticized their absence. You would have imagined what could have been. You would have questioned his voice. So God allowed closeness, not to trap you, but to expose reality. God says, I needed you to feel it fully so you could release it completely. Attachment revealed who was giving and who was taking, who was growing and who was stagnant, who sought depth and who avoided responsibility. You didn't lose control. You gained clarity, and clarity always hurts before it heals. God says, I was teaching you discernment through experience, not explanation. That season trained your spirit. It sharpened your boundaries and matured your heart. Chosen ones don't learn through theory. They learn through fire. The spiritual war you didn't see happening. This goes deeper than emotions. God says, there was a spiritual conflict attached to that connection. Not everything that feels intense is love. Some intensity comes from soul friction. Your spirit was ascending. Their spirit was resisting growth. And when two people move in opposite spiritual directions, there is confusion, exhaustion, and emotional turbulence. That's why peace came and went. That's why clarity faded around them. That's why prayer felt heavier during that season. God says, I disrupted the connection because it was interfering with your alignment. Chosen ones cannot afford emotional ties that weaken spiritual authority. The enemy doesn't always attack through pain. Sometimes he distracts through attachment. God says, what distracted you was not stronger than you, but it was distracting you from me. So God intervened through distance, through silence, through sudden clarity, not to hurt you, but to rescue you. The new discernment God just activated in you. Now pay attention, this is the upgrade. God says you see differently now. You don't ignore red flags anymore. You don't over-explain your boundaries. You don't beg for clarity. Your spirit recognizes patterns quickly. Your heart listens sooner. Your peace speaks louder. God says, what confused you before will now repel you. This is what growth looks like. You feel less attached to potential. You choose peace over intensity. You value consistency over excitement. Chosen one, you didn't lose innocence. You gained wisdom. And wisdom attracts better alignment. God says, the next connection will not drain you, it will confirm you. No mixed signals, no emotional guessing games, no spiritual confusion. What's coming will feel light, and when it arrives, you will thank God for removing what once felt impossible to let go. The warning God is giving you right now, chosen one, this is serious. God says, do not confuse nostalgia with calling. There will be moments, especially after this video, when memories try to resurface, when old emotions whisper, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe you should reach out. God says, that is not my voice. That is your past trying to re-enter a future it no longer qualifies for. The enemy often attacks chosen ones after clarity, not before it, because confusion works best when truth has already been revealed. God says, if you go back now, you will delay what I am about to release. That person may return with apologies, with explanations, with emotional vulnerability, but vulnerability without transformation is still a trap. God says, I removed them because they were familiar, not faithful to your future. Chosen one, do not reopen doors God himself closed. Why God trusted you with this painful truth. Here is something many won't tell you. God doesn't reveal truth like this to everyone. God says, I trusted you with the truth because you are mature enough to carry it. Some people live their entire lives repeating the same emotional cycles, same pain, different faces, but you were chosen to break the pattern. God says, I allowed you to feel deeply because you are strong enough to heal deeply. This experience refined you. It didn't ruin you. It taught you to listen to your spirit, to honor your peace, to stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Chosen ones are not spared from pain. They are trained by it. God says, what hurt you educated you, and now you move differently. You love differently. You discern differently. That is proof of growth. The destiny connection God is protecting. Now listen, because this is the promise. God says, I removed them because they would have interfered with who is coming. There is a connection ahead that won't confuse you, won't drain you, won't compete with your calling. This person will not need convincing. They will recognize you. God says, I am aligning you with people who see you clearly, not emotionally. But timing matters. Chosen one, destiny requires space. That's why God needed you unattached, clear, emotionally free. What's coming will meet you in peace, not chaos. In clarity, not anxiety. In purpose, not emotional struggle. God says, wait, stay obedient. Trust me, because what I am protecting you for will make everything you lost make sense. The final confirmation God wants you to hear. Chosen one, this is the last thing God needs you to understand. God says, what you felt was not attachment, it was awareness. You were sensing an ending before it happened. You were grieving something before it left. You were preparing emotionally without realizing why. That wasn't weakness. That was alignment. God allowed you to feel the shift early, so the separation wouldn't destroy you when it came. God says, I spoke to you through discomfort because comfort would have kept you stuck. If that person was truly meant to stay, peace would have increased, not disappeared. Clarity would have grown, not faded. Security would have strengthened, not shaken. God says, I do not remove blessings in confusion. What left had already expired. Chosen one, you didn't lose love. You lost illusion, and illusion must fall before elevation can begin. God says you are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are right on time. This season was never about them. It was about you awakening. You now see what drains you. You now recognize what manipulates you. You now trust what your spirit tells you. That is confirmation. Prayer, release, and call to the chosen. Take a deep breath. God says, release what no longer speaks peace. Right now, release the questions. Release the guilt. Release the emotional weight. You did not fail. You obeyed. Let this be your prayer. God, I release every attachment you did not authorize. I let go of every connection that dims my light. I trust your removal. I trust your timing. I trust your protection. God says, I am proud of you. You chose growth over familiarity, truth over comfort, obedience over emotion. Chosen one, this chapter is closed. Do not reread it. What's ahead requires clarity, and now you have it. If this message spoke directly to you, if it described what you've been feeling in silence, if you know this was confirmation, then you are not alone. Come on, I receive. To seal this word, subscribe if you are walking the path of the chosen, and stay ready, because what God is preparing next will arrive without confusion. Amen.